Diving right in. It's only been about a week so far since the portal energies have come in, and they are super, super strong. Now, ironically, I did this great video explaining the KP index and how to be able to look at it and which one normally works the best for me. And the KP indexes have been so calm and so mild and so green. And I can assure you, that is not what's happening with the energies. So I started getting hit last Friday. And the biggest thing is crazy itching skin at different times. This is totally normal. This is your energetic body that is being created and linked as you burn out old energies that you no longer need, which also can make you run super, super hot as if you were just literally on fire. And to add to that, the other area that I keep getting hit in is what is known as the solar plexus. That's your gut. And it feels like it's on fire or like food is just literally stuck there. Now, different people experience these portals completely differently. So I'm only sharing with you the things that happened to me during this time. And I know how active I am at night in my dreams and how much work I'm doing. So I know as well that when my gut gets hit, I literally am forced to stop. I have to sit and lay down and relax a little bit and just work with all of the energies. So hopefully you guys are doing okay through all of this, but it's actually exciting. And the funny part is I had to go back and listen to the portal video I did last year. And it actually has some great tips in it. So I'm going to add that after this update. I'm also going to then add reminders on how we are actually Christ consciousness and we are becoming crystalline. We are literally dropping our carbon base and working with the energies and our energetic body to bring it in to move us into the higher dimensions. So I'm also adding Feel the Body Electric 1 and 2. And in some of those, I discuss why chakras are all old programming. As a matter of fact, when I do healing sessions, I'm literally disconnecting the old energies that are broken and manipulated from the quote serpent, from the old, I'm going to say it, forms of Kabbalistic training and NAA, negative alien agendas. And that may sound super strange to some people, but the longer you listen to my videos, the more you understand what I'm saying, you will get more comfortable with it. And you will get excited to see how many energy centers we have. So with those energy centers, that's how come you may be feeling all of a sudden like a tinge or a burning sensation, maybe in your middle finger or the bottom of your foot or to your right side. These are all ways that you are actually being worked on. Thank your guides and your star family to help you adjust to the new energies that are coming in. The most fascinating part of listening to the old last year's tips was that the energy then was based in our root. And so a lot of people at that point, as well as myself, had experienced terrible back pain, exhaustion. Of course, I forget how tired I get during portals. It's like I really have to push myself. But the difference in this portal is I have so many beautiful moments of bliss energy, way beyond what I had last year. That the fantastic tingling and the buzzing and the various forms of ringing in my ears that are quite lovely and I've adjusted to. All those things are way more positive than they were a year ago. So if you're new to all of this, hopefully by us telling you about these things, you will feel more comfortable and not run immediately for emergency care. The other thing is, having a hard time getting a super deep breath or feeling pain in your ribs. These are just upgrades. Do not necessarily worry about them. Obviously, this is not medical advice. And if you need help, call 911 or call your beautiful holistic practitioner to help you through. But we're really working on the solar plexus, which is fire energy. And that fire energy is something that is helping you really come to terms with your mission, with confidence, with a sense of self, so that you can become our future leaders, so that you can step in and take over for all of us who have been doing this for so long. And also, you can find that when your solar plexus is being affected, your ability to eat goes from absolutely not hungry to so voraciously hungry you can't handle it. And then you eat sometimes some food, and next thing you know, it's stuck again. It feels like it's stuck. It isn't stuck. It is all just the energy. And each bit of this is helping us to break down and remove all the old systems. And I do definitely listen to the next one from last year, as well as all the other tips. But the funny part was, I so clearly explained how the people who were leaders in society had been swapped out. And now, what is going to happen with where we are at is entire government systems are going to be completely changed and revamped. And I am going to give a shout out to Robert Kennedy, who is heading up what is in the United States called MAHA, MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. He has gone after the pharmaceutical companies probably maybe longer than I have, or around the same time. So although I very rarely bring up a person's name, in this case, I would like you to pay attention to him, because what he is doing to help get rid of toxic foods, toxic waste, really listening to what's happening on the land, growing healthy foods, attacking big pharma. All of those things are the direction that we're going into as we integrate our light bodies. So there are just so many, many positive things on the horizon. If you're feeling completely exhausted, hey, I'm with you. But everybody experiences these energies differently. Again, depending on what dimension you're actually working from, how far you have to go. But don't give up. There is still time. These energies are still coming in till the 20th. People are still evolving, and I'll continue to post information to help you with that. All right, love you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. I just want to congratulate all of us, because on 11/11, we had such an immensely successful reconfiguration, breaking down of old matrix systems, and we have really moved to a higher timeline once again. And we had just done it a few weeks ago. Let me tell you, this was so monumental that I was completely wiped out over the weekend. Anything that I tried to do to get up and actually make this video, which is why it says the 19th and it's the 21st. Anything I attempted to do, I was just too tired. So it was one of those days where or weekends, it was actually 2.5 days, where literally I was in a sweatshirt. I couldn't even go for a walk. I opened the windows when I could, and that was as much nature as I could possibly get. That's how much energy we moved. But we should all be so proud of ourselves because so much of the negative systems, the negative agendas, not only are they broken, but every little energy point that held them in focus has been obliterated completely, which means that if you are picking up on negativity, if you are still calling in fear over dark entities, those major ones are gone. Freedom is really here. Everything that you're looking at on that old movie screen, that TV illusion, the old truther movements, those are all outdated and gone. I don't know how clear I can be, but I know so many of you are moving way beyond even the 5th dimension. Many of you are already in the 7th and the 9th. And our DNA is being encoded absolutely daily. And it's moving so quickly that really in 6 months, we should start to see the physical changes around us. But they can't happen when you fall back and look at the old systems and give them any validity. Those timelines played out, and now they just literally have to go through the motion like an old, horribly outdated movie. Let's say you look back at a movie now that was made in the 70s, not a good one. And you're like, oh, that's a B, C movie. That is so horrible. All of those systems are gone. So do not give any of your energy to it. The whole point of what is going on is you are all, because you're listening, zipping up really quickly to these higher and higher timelines. Because anything that's going on around you, you are bringing back to center. You are bringing back to your heart. You are letting yourself be in the now moment. And as long as you are in the now moment, you can find peace in any circumstance. Everything that we need to be doing right now is peace, is now, is unity. It's feeling abundance. It's imagining it. It's realizing. And what is the term realize? Think of it, real, R-E-A-L, instead of I-Z-E. What is the real I? The real I is your third eye. The real I is opening up your pineal gland. The real I is being in oneness with your heart. Each and every piece of this is available to you, easier than it's ever been. So anytime you start to get a little stuck, literally turn around to yourself and pull off the stuckness. Let it go. Put yourself in that protective bubble and say, no, no more. I don't live in that universe any longer. Nothing sticks to me. Everything flies right off of me. Because there is no grip left on you. There can't be a grip if that part of the matrix no longer exists. And it doesn't. It's gone. And you should start to feel a little bit of a lightness of being once you get through the exhaustion. And also, I want to mention that people are having issues with root chakras. That's because we have been derooted, okay? And we are free to fly. But what happens is your body hasn't quite adjusted to it. So, for example, even I'm having some issues like lower back tension and pain. So, be really gentle and loving with yourself. Deep breath through it. Little baby stretches just to keep yourself as mobile as you can be, even if you're feeling like you are a blob. For those who are sailing through and feeling wonderful right now, that is just fantastic. Keep going. But the illusion, this part of others having control, is broken. So, with all of that, with all of the institutions completely replaced, the beings that are running many of these institutions are truly not who they used to be. And there was a period of time that we went through like a I don't know how to explain it, but like a suction where so many of them, the old was taken out and new dimensional beings are in their place. It's almost like walk-ins. So all of these systems are broken, gone, and pretty much replaced until you give it validity. This is why it is so important that everything we're imagining is oneness, peace, unity, not controlling another being. Let them live the life that they need to be. Let them go through their soul contract. Know that there's more for you. Perfect health is coming. Know that we are getting to the point that as we make it through these transitions, we're not going to be talking about death and dying. We're not going to be talking about medicine. As a matter of fact, even for those people, I have been encouraging, because our light bodies need to strengthen up. If you are doing something that's like, well, I'm just doing this to avoid getting, let's say, the old C19, or I'm just doing this prophylactic, just to make sure. If you are doing too many of those right now, you really don't need it. So little by little, when you're ready, back off of them. Because your light body needs as much time as it possibly can to reintegrate. And this is the safest time to do it. So the great news is now you can open up and go, hey, I'm ready to astral travel. Hey, I'm ready to see my soul family. I am not at all triggered by any movement that I might see at the corner of my eyes. I welcome the beings. I'm so grateful that they came. As a matter of fact, we have had so much help. Venus has been incredible to us. So we want to give our thanks to all of the star beings, to Venus, to those individuals who have helped us for so many centuries. And we need to remain on the positive piece in the sense of the things that you want to be envisioning, again, if it's comfortable to you and you agree, are those things where our soils are replenished, our waters are clean, everything is moving along in harmony, abundance for all, and being able to really see people starting to collaborate, not looking at people in the old way that you used to, but definitely continuing to let go of any of those who are stuck in the old systems and holding on to them. Don't give your power away, like I've always said. Pull it within. But we have gone through a monumental time. And with this is why it's going to be such a transition for us, because those who have been the leaders will step up into the encodings, bringing down the encodings. Eventually, it will give the leaders a chance to move forward and on to other things and bring all of you up so that you're doing what you want to do. as leaders, you didn't come through all of this to not be seen. So it may be hard for you to think of that right at this moment. You might be like, well, I'm a little bit shy, or I'm not the greatest at speaking, or there's 500 million channels out there. How could I possibly help? I assure you, your guides are helping you take a look in the astral, in your dreams, at where it is that you can be the most help, but that fits who you are, your personality, your being, all of that. So don't make yourself uncomfortable in the sense that you agree to doing a job or working in some way that does not fit where it is that you want to go. Try still not to make any decisions right now, because we still have energies coming in until the end of the month, November 30th. And then we start to see all the way through to solstice, December 21st, these changes. So honestly, the most important thing that you can still do is firmly connect to love, unconditional love, helping yourself feel good, the best that you can feel in every moment, and literally turning off, tuning out all the other channels and pieces that no longer serve you. And then doing a little check mark. Ooh, I'm so proud of myself. I didn't fall for that. Well, whatever the story was. I'm so proud of myself. Remember 3 years ago? This is where I was at. I had fear. I don't have any fear any longer. Whatever it may be, so that you can see that you as well have moved into these higher configurations. And always, 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 we're giving our thanks to the angels, the archangels, to all of our guides and spirit guides, to our guardian angels, to our ancestors. We are so grateful they have been able to help us move through this. And while you may not know it, we truly have made it past a monumental moment. You can put 11/11/2023, circle it, star it, put a sun over it, say thank you, because we made it. We fought something that centuries and centuries could not eliminate. So pat yourself on the back, be grateful for every now moment, and I am working to hit the subscribe button so that it links. And the reason you want to subscribe now is I have some goodies coming up. And anybody who subscribes will be able to get a discount or a code to help us move forward. The courses I will talk about in a minute. They were finally approved, and I will make another video on all that. So I love you from the bottom of my heart. I'm grateful to all of you, all the new subscribers, the new podcast listeners, the new course people, and of course, my eternal love to my beautiful ones who have been with me since the beginning, who actually take the extra time to hit like and subscribe. Love you, love you, love you. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, beautiful light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. I just have to say thank you again. It was so fun waking up this morning and seeing all the podcast downloads, because it warms my heart to know how hard we humans are trying to share information in this scenario, which is a rough earth learning experience. So to see so many just listening, just doing their best, I'm sending an extra push of love your way. And every time you question, every time you pull information from you that no longer exists, that no longer serves you, and you let it go, know that universe and your guides are going to send you to brighter and better places. Is it hard? Yes. Do we fall? Yes. Do we fall prey? We do. But we're trying, We're pulling each other up and we're going to keep going. So today, the topic I want to talk to you about is how not to fall for virtual reality, artificial intelligence, all those crazy new systems, the chatware, the games, the gurus that are all generated by artificial intelligence. This is the secret duality the earth world does not want you to know, because once you learn it, they can't drain your energy. Humans have innate abilities that they were born with. They are not robots. And those abilities, whether you're a starseed, a regular human, no matter who you are, have a spark, have live DNA, have the things that are Christ consciousness. Each one of you who has a heart and a soul and is listening and growing is Christed. You came to create. You came to open up all your abilities and share them with others. You did not come to be a duplication, a clone, an artificially intelligent individual controlled and manipulated by a system that feeds from you. The minute that you put on virtual reality eye masks, you are changing and distorting your neurological makeup, serotonin, all those important parts of your internal chemistry that help stop you from pulling in your true powers. This is why it is so important for the dark side to continue to create these apps that do things for us, these virtual realities that take us away from creating, these games, these exploitations, and the very dark things that I won't say because I don't want to get cut off. But the fact is while we can use technology to, of course, enhance our lives, we have to carefully pay attention to how much damage they're creating while we are using them. Do you think that technologically advanced civilizations who can zip around in spaceships are simply doing it from pure technology? No, they are actually becoming one with, let's say, their spaceship. They are literally pulling in their energies, and it is thinking with them, and they are moving forward. And it's unison and harmony and strength and co-creation. It is not there to destroy you or to copy. But in this duality world, if we let it, the dark, I'm just going to say the devil for ease of speaking, although I'm doing another video to explain the breakdown of good and evil. The devil can't create because it doesn't have that spark. It can only copy. And why this is so important is that it has to do anything it can to copy humans, to copy energy, so that it can then pull and create from the humans who are giving off love, who are giving off energy, who, of course, unfortunately, are getting trapped in negativity so that the dark can feed on what is known as loosh. You see, the longer you don't pay attention, or you just get lost in that game on the computer and hours go by, the easier it is for them to hijack your beingness. They actually dumb and numb you down from being an active participant in going out into the world and creating your own thing, which is the reason why it's so important to go out in nature, or it's so important to paint a picture with actual paints. Yes, you can create and use the apps because you're intellectually stimulated and you're having fun and there are creative things that you can do. But why? Why would we choose something that is copied versus creating our own? You see, when you look at those musicians on stage and those Hollywood, as I call them, Hollywood A-lister stars, those are not even who you think they are. Those are cloned beings or controlled beings who have made it to a certain level, and they are manipulated. They pray to the wrong dark force. They have given up their souls to be there. And it is that dark energy that is pulling you in. And the reason why they seem to have so much endless talent. It's why we turn around and we give ourselves a hard time, because it's like, what, I could only write one song. I could only write 2 songs. Holy heavens, if you wrote 1 song, jump up and rejoice. Go running, share it with the world. I don't care if it's flat and sharp and messed up. I don't care if the poem is 3 lines long. You created it. You brilliant being created it. That is fantastic. It beats any song that evil cloned individual can get up on a stage and sing. Because you brought that to the world. Think of Native Americans singing to the sun and drumming away. Drumming is a beautiful way to raise your DNA, to raise your consciousness, to bring in the elements, to lift yourself up. You don't have to write an entire opera. You can simply enjoy and be in the joy of creating, even if you don't finish the work, because it is that process of joy that brings the energy to a higher level. And this is why the dark hates you, because they can't do that. They can only force and manipulate things to copy what it is that we do, and they can never achieve the joy and the freedom that we will find through one thing called love, because they do not have that ability. But boy, do they have the ability to suck you right back down into the matrix, to make you believe that you are lesser because you can't get up and do those things on the stage that these huge stars do. You don't want to sacrifice what has happened, what they have sacrificed to get what they have gotten. Start small. Be the little joy. Pull out that old song you made 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 months ago, whatever it is. Start writing again. So what if your scripts didn't make it? Thank heavens they didn't make it. They would have gone to the dark side. Why did my books not hit some of the top industry quote awards or listings in the New York Times, book listings? Why? Because I never went the dark side route. why I could never buy into Oprah's list, because I know how those people got to where they are to become famous. Ellen DeGeneres. Those individuals are not who you think they are, and yet you blindly follow because they showed up on some list. Well, beautiful, incredible, Christed human, thank the heavens you failed. Thank the heavens you didn't fall for virtual or artificial intelligence reality. Thank the heavens that you are an organic being, or as much as organic as you possibly can, to make better decisions to never, ever, ever again accept putting any of those things into you. You want to create organically. That is joy. That is fun. It doesn't matter how simple it is. It doesn't matter if it's creating a snowman in the snow that will melt, or an ice sand castle that the ocean will take away. What matters is the energy that you had while you were doing it, because that energy spreads, and that can never be copied. It can never be duplicated. The only thing the dark can do is control you, distract you, harness your loosh, take the power from you, make you addicted, make you feel like you're lesser, make you feel like you're not doing enough, make you feel as though everybody else is succeeding and you're failing. They can deny you your own self, but only if you let them. I'm asking you for the time that you would spend on that virtual or artificial intelligence reality, that you let it go, or you decrease it as much as you possibly can. Because again, I understand we need apps, we need computers, we need phones. I get it. And better ones are coming, ones that do not harness your energy in the way that they do right now, and do not give off the radiation that they do right now. Those are all coming. But in the meantime, as organic as you can be, as much time as you can spend in joy, knitting, crocheting. Don't worry if it does not come to the best knitter of all time. Don't worry if you're not listed in the world records. You don't want to be in those ones. You want your Akash, your life record, to read how you played, how you grew, how you loved, how despite every setback, you stepped up brighter and stronger than you ever were before. We are all plugging for you and each other, because we, quote, humans who have the Christ consciousness spark, we need to stick together. And a few of us very strong beat all of them. But the only way we can do that is by letting go of those technologies, letting go of those virtual masks, letting go of masks of any type. Because we hold source power. And that is what they are so afraid of. Because by us standing together, even in a momentary thought, even just saying to yourself, I am the I am that I am, and knowing that means you hold all the power within, and sending love to your other star family members here on earth who we are all struggling, spending time meditating and sending love to each other, that alone versus time on virtual reality will exponentially speed up the ability to break the matrix, let it disappear, as we step up and continue to ascend. If anything in this message helped, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Thank you again, beautiful beings, for being here and listening. May you have an incredible, wonderful, love-filled day. Love you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, light warriors, old souls, evolving beings, and exhausted or hyper-energized ones out there. Okay, what happened to February? All of a sudden, tomorrow's going to be March 3rd. Time is so distorted right now. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. Number one, feel the body electric. Because of all the energies that are coming in and people who are experiencing different feelings. And I want to talk about not again falling into the old traps of what you've been trained pharmaceutically, because that is not what this energy is about. Tying that in with people who have been trapped in the dogma of there only being 7 chakras and how that limits them, and anything else that comes to mind. And I'm going to start with the craziest one. I don't know, guys, but for the last few weeks, my body is vibrating so much that I literally do not have a second off. But the new crazy one, and you all know I'm 58, is the popping. Pop. Oh my goodness, my joints are literally making a popping sound. And it's hysterical because people who are older, I don't count myself there because, you know, I'm youthing, talk about how, yeah, all of a sudden they're getting creaky and their joints are popping. This is not the same thing. This is literally where my knees and my joints will literally just start to go. And all of a sudden, it's as if I'm being reorganized energetically. And a huge, these aren't like light little quiet popping sounds. These are literally pop, pop, pop. So the best way that I can describe it is I feel like a bowl of Rice Krispies, because if my body's going through this, yours probably is. So if you're snapping, if you're crackling, if you're popping, welcome to the new energies. It's actually fantastic because this is all things that need to be done and proof that you are getting the upgrades that I've been talking about for the last few years. But for those of you who have been with me now over a year. So one of the biggest misconceptions is people actually have talked for centuries about 7 chakras, starting from the root, moving up to the crown. And while that's all good, that's fine, they are completely limiting and cutting off the most important energy points in your body. Now, why would they do that? It's just like what happens when spiritual information is brought to us that's actually meant to keep us down and limited and little, versus spiritual information that's supposed to help us grow, to become our own masters, to evolve. So when you think of the limitation of your body holding from your root to your crown, only 7 energy points, what is happening to you? You're being limited. And this limitation is so played on in the old programming of both the medical and the psychological professions. Go back and listen to my videos, especially the one on why you do not want to be using pharmaceuticals to treat Ascension symptoms. And again, you know this is not medical advice. So, if we are only physical beings and we are not electromagnetic beings that we really are, what's going to happen? every time there's a physical symptom, somebody's going to run off and treat it. And I did a big blurb one day on the fact that so many of the psychological illnesses are being brought to light by the medical profession or the psychological profession when those are not the accurate things that are happening. Okay, the video, feel the body electric, and us popping, and our physical fields cut off after the first 5 minutes. So, as I was saying, if you remain trapped in the fact that there are only 7 chakras, you are limiting your body and all of your healing to those 7 areas. And what's happening right now is we are literally expanding. And in this expansion, we are needing to absolutely get connected, which is why people are feeling the vibration so much. And it has to come from literally the 13 parts that are working, the energetic centers. The ones that people don't talk about is they literally start below the root chakra, which is called 0, which is known as the Earth Star. And as you start to hear some of these terms, you're going to realize why people don't talk about it. They don't talk about it because it connects you with your divine beingness. All right? So the 8th chakra, so remember, 7th chakra would normally, people would talk about the third eye, 8th, the crown. 9th is the soul star chakra. So for those of you who I've done readings for, you'll realize that, of course, the information that comes is coming from the higher levels. I always say, we're just gabbing with your guides to a degree and bringing it down. The 10th chakra, the universal, and I'm using the term chakra just because that's what people understand. That is the universal chakra. The 11th chakra, the galactic chakra. Ooh, now we're talking about star families. And then, guess what? The 12th chakra, the divine gateway chakra. So if you wonder what's going on in your world right now, we are being expanded. So I want you to think that this is our connecting with our star families, with our galactic heritage, with our DNA upgrades going all the way through. I want you to now think on a daily basis that the divine portal has opened and that energy is coming in to help you work like a chiropractor does, or like acupuncturist does, on all of the different points of your body. But these points now are literally moving into the universe so that you can become one. And in that oneness, you need physical upgrades. So this is the reason why numbing yourself down or going for perhaps a medical diagnosis may not be necessary. And they are getting more and more clever, because not only it was the ringing of the ears that I had talked about in one of my episodes, not only are they now giving these descriptions, if you hear ringing in your ears, it could be a brain tumor. Nothing about Ascension, nothing about the symptoms that are going on. Again, this is not medical advice, just something to pay attention to, just like the zapping. Now, of course, if you are literally walking around with such intense pain on all of the points, I do understand the individuals who have suffered from fibromyalgia and the ones who have literally the shooting pains that you cannot function with. But those are being reorganized right now So, whatever you can do, not to immediately run off to Zoloft or run off to the antidepressants or again, those types of things, whatever you can try to do to find holistically. And if the pain is really bad, again, they're beautiful, beautiful natural remedies. Hemp in tincture form is fantastic. And done properly, the tinctures, CBD oils, these will help you get through what's going on. And I cannot stress enough, you have to try to stretch parts of your body, no matter how little it is, or do silly things. It sounds crazy, but this actually moves energy. Clapping your hands as fast as you can, doing little bits of clapping over parts of your body. All right. All of this helps you move energy. Now, for many, we're moving out of winter into springtime for those on, the northern hemisphere. So soon you'll be able to get out, put your feet on the ground and start to really interact with nature again. But for some, it's been a really, really hard winter. So anything that you can do just to do little stretches, deep breathing. Again, keep yourself hydrated as much as possible. But you may also be experiencing some issues where you're just getting bloated when you drink water. So for that, I highly recommend go back and look at cell salts. I love Highlands. Number 12 is bioplasma. That's the one that combines the 12 together. And there's also, Celtic sea salt is good. Just pay attention to how you're feeling and know that your body is literally being reprogrammed. And I don't know if you remember what growing pains were as a teenager. For me, they were astronomically painful. Deep joint pain that you literally didn't think that you could get over. And I had a couple days like that. Thank heavens, I have some of the best, purest hemp oil. And on 2 days in particular, I did use it because I couldn't function. I couldn't get through anything. So the other thing that is happening for people is literally forgetfulness because believe it or not, we are literally being stripped of some of the memories that no longer serve us. And you are most likely jumping timelines. So between losing your memory, jumping timelines, you may feel like you don't even know where you exist right at this moment. And, I have to laugh at myself and share it because if you don't laugh at yourself, you are going to turn that energy inward. And what happens when you turn that energy inward? It either comes out as depression that you feel you need to treat, or some kind of hurt or anger that you then project onto other people. So laugh at yourself. Yesterday, I went to go up to the mountain because I needed water. I fill up all my jugs of water, glass jugs, bring them back. It's a long trip. It takes a few hours all the way around. And I've been kind of having to really just remind me, like set an alarm if I have the oven on, stupid things, because first, when I think so intensely, I block everything else around me. So I could start a project and 3 or 4 hours will go by and I won't even realize that I was working on it for that period of time. So I have had to set little reminders for myself because it's getting worse. So yesterday I finished bringing the water and I was so relieved that it wasn't going to freeze overnight because the thought of having to carry these jugs up all these flights of stairs and all the other stuff, I was like, just not into it. So I got back, my legs were popping, everything was going on. I never noticed that I hadn't closed my back door to the truck. So sure enough, today, oh my goodness. Yep. The electric door was open all night long. So anybody could have had access to anything they wanted. But right now I'm in a remote area. People are lovely. So everything is exactly as it was. But I was like, really? I couldn't believe that I did it. So forgive yourself. Laugh it off. Don't worry about it. These are all changes that are happening for us. You absolutely cannot be hard on yourself. It's the same way too, where the dreams, you may find that because you were not able to finish certain things in your life, or because other people are finishing things that you were somehow by a string connected to, those people are starting to pop back up in your dreams, or you may be even bumping into people that seem like they were from the past. Don't ignore those. Take a look at them and determine whether or not there was some unfinished business. And most definitely, if those individuals have not changed, you need to keep those boundaries so strong, because you need to prove to universe that you will not fall back into the old ways, that you will continue to move forward. And moving forward is embracing every new second as if today is the beginning of the rest of your life. And you live in a world of infinite possibilities, and you no longer accept those that are not for your highest and best. Really try right now not to fall back into the predictive programming of, I have to work 9 to 5. I have to do this the way I've always done it. And whether you're taking a leap of faith or you are working actively to get to something that you actually really enjoy, you need to think about that. Because our whole purpose in the ascension process, for those who are deciding to ascend, you don't have to. You can always descend. Anyone has the right to do whatever they came here to do. But if you are in that process, this is not the world where you work 100 hours and get nothing in return and live paycheck to paycheck. The entire systems are being rebuilt, even if you don't see them, underneath you. Things are changing. When I hear or look at situations where people are still discussing the fact that they believe some of the actors from 2019 are still those people you're seeing on the screen, this shows me that they have not yet understood all of those were taken care of. So you can't live your life thinking and acting and responding as if you were in that old movie. That old movie doesn't exist unless you want it to. So don't get sucked in. And the reason I'm using the concept of theater is, in so many ways, Shakespeare was totally right. All the world is a stage and we are merely players. And the more that you can get to the point of just living moment to moment and bringing everything in and letting things float off of you, the easier this transition is going to be. Because you know what? Universe wants the best for you. But your soul came to experience a couple of things. So, for example, at one point, it was the strangest thing, because I was like, wow, I've lived my whole life, I don't even want to say this out loud, without having broken anything. And sure enough, after a period of time, it was like I was literally getting pushed. I fell off a pair of shoes at one point. And I was like, no. I can't have anything happen to me right now, because I have all these things I have to do. And then I kept feeling like it was being held off, and I was holding it off as much as I could. It was like, no, 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 I can't learn this lesson right now. Okay, can't learn this lesson right now. Until eventually one day, I did get a bad sprain. I did manage to heal it all holistically. There was a lesson in it. So there are certain soul contracted things or soul experiences that no matter how perfectly you line up and play, they're going to happen to you anyways. So if you get angry or hurt and say, why did you do this to me, universe? I can't believe it. I'm such a good person. I'm doing everything I possibly can. You're only going to frustrate yourself. You're going to want to give up. You're going to feel as though the universe is conspiring against you when it's actually with you to grow. So whatever you can do, allow all these electric feelings to come in. Let your body reshape itself with the energies as it needs to. Do your best to not allow yourself to think there is something wrong with you medically, because there is not. And I assure you, even if there was, you can heal. And you can heal much quicker than you ever did before. So, with more energies coming in, it's already 3/3, March 3rd, tomorrow. There are other pieces that are happening in vortexes, energy fields, timelines converging. And when they converge, what happens is those old pieces, those old memories of things that you've learned in this lifetime need to be broken off and let go of. So the best that you can do, see the situation, try to figure out why it's there, but then let it go. Change the channel. Do not spend longer than you need to thinking about those situations in the past. The past is gone. Force yourself as if you are literally changing a physical channel to change into something that brings you joy. What brings you joy? Whatever it may be. And even if it's only something you can do in your mind, because physically or financially or whatever the thing is, you can't do that yet. Dream. Dream big. Dream hard. Dream long. Don't give up. Things are really moving universally. Start to pay attention to connecting with those star families, with the galactics. Don't put pressure on yourself that it hasn't happened yet. Just continue to keep an open mind, knowing that it will. And know that from the bottom of my heart, I love you. Have a beautiful and glorious day. Love you.